If you remember, about a year ago, ASUS and Ikea said that they will be working together on creating a series of products, which in the end I guess would be sold through Ikea's website, and people got really excited about that, just like they got about the KFC console, or I guess the KF console, whatever you prefer calling it. But up until this point, we haven't really seen anything come out of the collaboration between these two companies, and I guess that is going to change today, because courtesy of video cards, we have seen what ASUS and Ikea have been cooking for us. Now, I am going to start with the UPSSPEL gaming desk, if that's how you pronounce it, and that one looks quite interesting, and I'm honestly quite happy that they chose to go with a standing desk, because I've become a standing desk user myself, and quite frankly, it's been a really nice improvement or a nice change for me. But I would say that it's a little bit pricey at 500 euros, but again, this might also be cheaper than the Thermaltake desk, which comes in at about 1700 euros, and I'm too much of a cheapskate to buy any of those things, so I just decided to go with this cheaper version myself, and I might be leaving some links to that in the video description if you guys are interested. Now, other things that they will be working on include a cupboard, and I guess a lot of people are going to be interested in that one, just like you've been for the Alex drawers. And they are also going to be bringing a mouse bungee, a stand with a ring light, a headset holder, some cushions, and I really think that this one is a little bit weird if you were to ask me, because it also has some pockets, but I guess that could also keep you warm and comfy if you were to put it on your chair. But with regards to the chair that they are also going to be making, I'm gonna stay with my one that I just bought right now. But you know, whatever tickles your fancy. I guess if you are someone who uses a cushion to get warm like that, I guess that's also fine. Now, they are also going to be making a drink holder for all of the cans of Mountain Dew, and a black trash can where I can hopefully put all of the hateful comments that I've been getting under my YouTube videos. I mean, some other ones, because the newer ones have been quite well regarded by you guys, so thanks a lot for that. Now, they're also going to be making a floor mat, which I really think that's a little bit small if you were to ask me, and a mouse pad, but I would say that you could much rather buy something from Gamers Nexus or Linus Tech Tips, because you're also going to support them, and I would say that they are a little bit higher quality compared to what might come out of a partnership between ASUS and Ikea. And that's not to say that they are going to be bad by any means. So yeah, are you guys really interested in what ASUS and Ikea have been working on? Are you going to be buying any of those things? Do make sure to let me know in the comments below. And now let's move on to our next topic, which is Intel Rocket Lake S. Now, we have seen some new details surface, and this time we found out that their 11th gen CPUs are going to get a boost in frequency, which on the 11900K should be about 5.3 GHz with thermal velocity boost, but you're most probably going to see 4.8 GHz with normal settings, and I would say a decent cooler. Now, the 11700K is also going to get some improvements, but it's going to be 300 MHz slower with TVB, but this will still have a base frequency of 3.6 GHz, which is of course 100 MHz more than on the 11900K. Now, both of those processors are going to be 8 cores and 16 threads, whilst the 11600K is going to be a 6-core 12-thread CPU with a base clock of 3.9 GHz and a boost of 4.9 GHz. However, if you guys remember one of my older videos, I told you that Alder Lake CPU, so that's Intel's 12th gen 10 nanometer CPUs, are going to come out sometime in September if the leaks are accurate, and based on that, I would expect that it's not really a great time to be looking for a CPU right now, just like it's not a great time to be buying Ryzen 5000, especially if you want to get your hands on Ryzen 5900X, 5950X, and I don't remember, I think it was the 3900X. And if you have watched my previous video where I talked about how the availability is going to look like for these CPUs, then you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, I would like to tell you that scalpers have made a lot of money selling Ryzen 5000 CPUs, and I guess that they haven't really looked at the lower end, and those being the 5600X and 5800X, and obviously those CPUs are still really good. But the point that I'm trying to make is that scalpers have sold a lot of Ryzen 5000 CPUs. In fact, a study showed that scalpers made nearly $6 million by selling Ryzen 5000 chips online at decent markups, and according to a script which scraped items sold on eBay, there have been over 8,700 Zen 3 processors sold on eBay alone, which is completely bonkers if you are to think about it. And if you guys happen to have bought a Ryzen 5000 chip at a markup from one of those scalpers, then I feel really bad for you. Now, I also feel really bad for the people who have bought a Ryzen 5000 chip from retailers who have also sold some of those chips at pretty hefty markup. And if you are to remember one of my older videos, I showed you guys that here in Germany, the RX 6900 XT especially costed about 1,400 to 1,500 euros, and that's completely nuts. Now, maybe all of those things are going to change, but what I think is not going to change really soon is mining being all of this, you know, all this important right now, and we're kind of reliving the whole mining craze which we've seen in 2017 and 2018. And with that in mind, I've also told you that MSI is going to be bringing some mining cards based on the Ampere architecture, but right now I kind of thought that I would share this image with you guys, which I found a little bit funny because one guy had a whole mining rig inside of his trunk and this is of course not any trunk, this is the trunk of a BMW i8, and if you remember the infamous PNY graphics cards, the 3080 if I remember correctly, those GPUs made about 20 grand US dollars a month, and if you were to take all of that, you know, I guess that was profit if I remember correctly, and were to you know, get all that money and then want to buy yourself a BMW i8, which here in Germany would be about 70,000 euros from what I was able to find, I guess you could end up with a sweet car and I still have some decent pocket change after that, but I know all of you guys are not going to do that, hopefully, because I'm someone who doesn't really endorse cryptocurrency mining, especially not with GPUs, CPUs, and everything else that we want to get ourselves, you know, in all of these crazy times. But I guess this is not going to change all that soon, so how about we change the topic and talk about the Intel Xe graphics cards, and this time we're going to be talking about the discrete GPUs. And oh yeah, this looks exactly like what we've been promised by Intel and Raja Kaduri about, I guess it was like 2 years ago or something like that, but obviously I can't keep a straight face to that, and this really doesn't look like what we expected to see from them. And I guess you are also not really, you know, shocked to see that this GPU is not going to perform necessarily all that well, and by that I don't mean that it's not going to be good for certain tasks, it's more certainly not going to be as good as the RTX 3000 GPUs or the RX 6000 GPUs, because I'm going to have the pictures on screen right now with the specs, but it's also going to be OEM only, and it will also require a BIOS update, so good luck getting it to work on AMD, and by that I mean that it's not going to work, so don't really get your hopes up, and also don't get your hopes up that this video is going to go on for any longer, because I really need to go and take care of some other things. So yeah, thanks a ton you guys for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in another video. Bye bye.